give us an idea of the year that nearly has been now on Twitter and just describe how it's evolved.
Well, it's been quite a year that we've all been through, and that certainly reflected on Twitter as well. In Asia Pacific, we had 4 out of the 5 top hashtags all related to the pandemic. There was interesting subtext to that, particularly in Asia. We had the mental health conversation become, a sort of big part of that whole, conversation through the year. It became acceptable to talk about it, which was, unfortunate, but also positive for society. But also we found what United Nations called the shadow pandemic, essentially the after effects of a pandemic and quarantine on gender-based violence. And particularly a number of markets in APAC saw that play out. And so a lot of our efforts on Twitter were really to be able to try and help that scenario out, special search prompts around that, around gender-based violence, but also in general, search prompts around coronavirus and COVID to ensure that that people were getting authentic information at the right point.
Maya, tell us about growth in this part of the world. How much have you seen as people have been at home? They've probably been wanting to have some sort of outlet.
Yeah, it's been quite a strong growth year. We just finished quarterly earnings of the past quarter, and we reported the international markets grew about 32% year on year in terms of audience. Asia Pac is a large part of that. What we also saw was that people not only had expressions of anxiety and concern around the pandemic, but also gratitude and sort of trying to be hopeful and looking forward to things. But there was certainly a need to, seek out entertainment, seek out a release from being in quarantine, and frankly, to use the time well that they had gained back from commutes and things like that. In APAC, we saw people actually lean more closely towards gaming and entertainment and even shoppertainment in some ways, which was quite unique to Asia Pacific versus you look at that globally and you saw more focus on TV and movies and definitely cooking in the global world. So APAC definitely had a slightly different skew there on how people use their time, and that definitely showed on our strong audience growth in the region as well.
Maya, one place where you haven't had growth, of course, legitimate growth anyway, and that's China. But it hasn't stopped Twitter becoming very popular with the Chinese Communist Party, with them tweeting messages, mainly foreign policy. We just saw it the other week with that Australian soldier, of course. And, does it worry you that they can use it for their own benefit while not allowing you into their country?
Well, we are blocked in China and have been for a while. We do work with, policymakers and governments and, thought leaders across every field in every country. And we welcome the opportunity to have every voice on the platform. Now, when it does come to tweets that are misrepresenting, we've been taking a wider approach and a consistent approach. We've been actually trying to add a ton of context to tweets. And so whether it's labeling of tweets, or whether it's tweets around COVID-19 or any elections or synthetic or manipulated media, we've taken a very consistent approach to say, hey, let's give as much context as we can to our users so they know, how to judge the content that they're consuming.
Well, yeah, this is it. But, any chance you'll get access to China soon? Is it very, very quickly here? Yes or no, Maya?
I don't think we're trying to change the situation that we are, but we always welcome having access to every market in the world. We'd love to have every voice on the platform at Twitter.
Well, tell me something here. How has the COVID-19 phenomenon and pandemic, there's been so much misinformation surrounding it, especially in Europe and the United States. Has Asia got its fair share of that as well?
Well, I think our approach is always to try and limit the spread of misinformation. And what we've done very early this year, and we've honestly learned from around this topic over the years, which is essentially to partner. We partnered very closely with the local governments, with the NGOs, and with the health authorities, so that we give the best opportunity for people when they come and search for COVID to see the authentic information put out by the trusted bodies right up on top. And so that has been our approach, and we continue to double down both between product features as well as policy and manual review to limit that spread of misinformation.
Given the diversity of languages in APAC, can Twitter's algorithms be as effective as they are in other parts of the world? Very quickly again.
Yeah, we're prevalent in many languages. We have capabilities inside our teams across many languages, and as well as on machine language and things like that. And we strive to continue to grow that base of languages in being relevant across the world.